Hi guys! Recently I came across this ISA sound card based on the ESS AudioDrive 8069 chipset, and unlike most ESS cards, it comes with a built-in FM radio module. Sounds great, but getting that radio to work is another story, especially if you don't have the original installation discs. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to bring the FM tuner back to life. First, we're going to install it in this Pentium II 350 system and also in the 486 DX4 PC I showed you here before. So what exactly is this card? According to its FCC ID, it's a Formosa Industrial SC320-W sound card. So let's figure out how to get this FM module working, because there's very little information out there. Well, back when this car was new, it shipped with an extra floppy disk containing the FM radio software. 30 years later, the driver archives you'll typically find only includes the standard ESS AudioDrive drivers. Anything specific to the radio module basically isn't part of the official driver package, and that's where things get interesting. So let's start with the basics. The FM radio module doesn't actually need a dedicated Windows driver. What it needs is an FM radio application that knows how to talk with the tuner, which, by the way, sits on a small daughter board and communicates through a dedicated I/O port with the default address set to 0x30C. Most radio applications will probe this address first when looking for the tuner. If needed, we can change the I/O address using the jumpers on the sound card. But first, let's get the sound card drivers installed. Since the ESS AudioDrive family was introduced in the mid-90s, Windows 98 already includes built-in drivers for it. ESS also released newer driver packages later on, and both work fine for the audio portion of the card.
AudioDrive.
And here is the interesting part. No matter which driver package I used, Windows detected two ESS AudioDrive devices, and there was no radio output at all. Of course, there isn't another AudioDrive controller at all. It's the FM tuner hardware built around a Gemtek radio chipset. And it seems Gemtek made a lot of PC FM radio modules back in the 90s, so if you know how to set up one, it's the same story for all cards, including standalone radio modules. So here is how I got everything working. First, I changed the second ESS AudioDrive device to ESS Audio interface by manually updating the driver and pointing Windows to the ESS driver installation folder. Then I changed its I/O range from 0x28C to 0x30C to match the jumper setting on the card and the address the radio software checks by default. Strictly speaking, changing the device type isn't essential as long as Windows lets you assign the correct I/O range. What really matters is having the correct address set, because that's what the FM software checks. Otherwise, it will report that it can't detect the radio card. You might expect the application to let you configure the I/O address, but I couldn't find any way to do that. By the way, the application originally bundled with this card is called Resurrecting, and thankfully someone preserved the original floppy disk on the Internet Archive. The app can automatically scan for stations, tunes in reliably, and the audio quality is excellent. Now, I can't play any of the songs I recorded, because you know why, but here is a few seconds from a radio show, and it sounded really crisp to my ears.
Așa, salutare D&D, Luminița Anghel Sistem, Let Me Try Jimmy, București. Mamă, deci Luminița sunt pe val aici.
Barcelona, bună D&D, eu nu prea am ascultat Eurovision și nici nu ascult.
By the way, the card uses a 2.5mm antenna jack, and for testing I simply plugged an old microphone cable that happened to have the right connector. One thing I really like about these hardware FM tuners is that they use almost no CPU time. The tuner handles all the radio reception in hardware and just outputs analog audio straight to the sound card's mixer. That's especially useful on older systems like a 386 or a 486, where software audio decoding can easily hog the CPU. Sure, you could listen to audio CDs through the CD-in connector, but if you wanted a digital music, MP3 Playback requires a Pentium class CPU. And even on fast 486s, like the one I have, low bitrate mono files might play okay, but higher bit rates or especially variable bitrate MP3s quickly become too demanding. So an FM radio module sidesteps that problem entirely, so you get continuous music playback with basically zero CPU overhead. What's interesting is that these FM radio modules never really caught on, even though they were cheap to produce. I've always wondered if one reason was that they were made it trivial to digitally record music straight from local stations, something the industry may not have been eager to promote. Then again, this was the mid-90s when hard drives were still relatively small, so recording even a handful of songs as WAV files could quickly eat up your free space. And speaking of free space, did you know you can install an NVMe drive on a Pentium II PC and even use it on Windows 98 with custom drivers? Yes, you totally can. I did it on this Pentium II PC I showed you today, and I'm sure you'll want to watch this video if you haven't already. Hope you enjoyed this one as well. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. Bye!